The village board meeting, February 12th, 2024, to order. Looks like it's, 6:20, plus or minus. And I need a roll call.
Venturini.
Here.
Bhatia.
Here.
Doxey.
Here.
Anastasio.
Here.
Hewitt.
Here.
Washburn.
Here.
DeGroot.
He's here. Let's go to the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, I've got a presentation from Racine County Economic Development Corporation, their year-end report. Joining us is Laura Million.
Good evening, everyone. So in your packet, we've got information. We're going a little bit different than typically what I do. You've got a memo that shares a bit of information about what our activities were under our contract with the village, as well as a dashboard of our activities across Racine County. A few highlights from our activities. So we assisted 64 businesses in 2023. That's 85% of our goal. We encountered several headwinds as we worked this year, including increasing prices, interest rates, inflation, banking issues. But we were found we were very successful in what we were able to accomplish, and pleased to be able to do what we were able to do. Results is about $1.3 billion in private investment. A lot of that is coming from Microsoft, and we're certainly, being very conservative on the impact of that in our community. Highlights specific to the village of Mount Pleasant on the business retention and expansion side. So we receive lots of inquiries directly to us regarding resources for businesses, and we categorize those as technical assistance. We had 264 that came into us. 18 of those were specific to the village of Mount Pleasant. The assistance that we provided ranged from, providing startup information, where do you, get assistance with a business plan, information on financial resources, grant resources, as well as talent and HR support. So it sort of runs the gamut as to what kinds of inquiries we receive. Our outreach, we continue to make sure that we're talking with businesses about resources that are available through our CEDC and our partners, as well as making sure that we're keeping our partners informed, such as our chambers, bankers, and others, about the different resources to make sure that they're sharing that with others. So we talked with 393 different businesses through our outreach activities, and 16 of those villages were specifically village businesses. In addition, we sent out some targeted mailings to businesses in the village as well. Specific projects resulted in several grant programs being accessed. We've got a list of those. 8 projects were in the village of Mount Pleasant under our existing businesses, including Lavaggio Express, which received an SBA 504. We had a business that received a special grant as a result of COVID relief. We had several Racine County matching grants, which are very beneficial to businesses that are minority, women-owned, veteran-owned, or manufacturers, to help with marketing, training, and other resources. We also worked with CCB on their new location in the village of Mount Pleasant. On the business recruitment side, we also do a lot of outreach to our real estate professionals, developers, and site selectors to make sure that they are aware of what is available in terms of locations in Racine County. The result of that is we ended up engaging with 34 different business recruitment projects. 15 of those continue to actively consider the village of Mount Pleasant. We had 5 projects that moved forward, including the Microsoft data center, which I think we could count for multiple projects. Minute Arrow, as well as working with 3 different housing projects that are moving forward in the village. Talent attraction continues to be an important element of our work. We continue to hear from existing businesses, maybe not as feverish on the hiring side. They're sort of shifting a little bit more to retention, but they know that the demographics are challenging as our population gets older. So we need to keep an eye to continuing to attract talent to Racine County. And as we talk to new businesses considering the area, they certainly want to know, are there people to fill the jobs if we create them? So we continue to do our work around greaterracinecounty.com, which we started in 2018. We were pleased to receive a $60,000 award from WEDC to support our digital ad campaign in 23, and we just recently were notified that we are receiving an additional $30,000 for the first half of 24 to be able to continue this effort. This would also not be possible without partnerships with our manufacturers. So we have manufacturers who are actually providing support to continue this digital ad campaign. We ended up reaching 1.2 million people as a result of our campaign into Northern Illinois. So that's not necessarily people moving, but at least it's getting our message out about why Racine County is a great place to live and work. We have 53 businesses on our Greater Racine County website showcasing their job opportunities. One of the other things that we were able to do in 23 and will continue in 24 is focusing on young talent, making sure those individuals who may be interning at our local businesses, who may be going to school at Parkside or Carthage, that they are aware of Racine County job opportunities and just the opportunities to live in our community. So we'll continue that effort. And one of the things that we did in 23 was partnering with the Kenosha Area Business Alliance because talent is, agnostic as to community. So we're just having those partnerships to be able to bring those young talent together to showcase the community. Entrepreneurship work continues. We'll have more in 24 where we expect to be unveiling some things in the coming months. But we did focus on working with our partners to make sure that we were clear on what resources were available to small businesses and startups and continue to offer that. We worked on the community development side in terms of, making sure that we incorporated tourism messaging into our Greater Racine County, as well as working with the Convention and Visitors Bureau. So that's sort of the overview of our activities within the village. Our efforts in 24 will remain largely unchanged. Our contract, you'll note as you looked through it, we maybe changed the wording a little bit. Our priorities remain recruiting new businesses, supporting existing businesses, and providing entrepreneurship support, talent attraction, and then also cooperation with partners, including our chambers, our higher ed institutions, and then exploring opportunities for what's next to make sure that we can maintain and continue to be at the cutting edge of what our community needs. So I'll open it up to any questions you may have.
Does anybody have any thoughts or questions for Ms. Millian?
Mr. President, I don't have any question, but I'd like to make a couple of comments. Laura, I think as your presentation, it lists and as you eloquently pointed out, your leadership is obvious. What you bring on the table for the village of Mount Pleasant and for the Racine County, if you look at all these businesses or the recruitment or your promotions, it speaks for itself, and I'm glad to have you on board as a partner. So just want to give my compliments to you. You do add a lot of value, not only for the village of Mount Pleasant, but for this whole region. Recently, I was asked a question by a constituent last week, saying his question was, so what role does M7 or RZEDC play in the Microsoft? It was a very straightforward question, and I was very pleased to answer that question, saying they were the leader. They were the catalyst which helped make this. Obviously, our village leadership, president, the administrator, Claude, and everyone, director, Chris, everyone there. But I was very pleased to answer that question. So again, I just want to comment you, and I hope that we continue this partnership forever, for a long, long time. Thank you.
We certainly would appreciate that too. We enjoy working with you all.
I think Maureen wants to add a comment.
And while we were finishing up the meeting in the other room, proof that Laura is working all the time. We have a new business that you're about to do a liquor license for with Taco Party. She's still trying to teach me Spanish. Good luck. and we will work on that together. But Taco Party is joining us, and Laura approached her as we were introducing them and already is talking to her about a grant to market her business here in Mount Pleasant. So Laura is always working on our behalf. Thank you, Laura.
Yeah, he is. He's joking.
I think that's it.
He excused himself for just a minute. No, agreed. Just to echo Maureen, I like this format better, too.
Okay.
I think
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's very simple and it's easy to follow and it's, but, you know, when you look overall at all of the things RCEDC does, and when we go to the annual meeting every year where the awards are given out and you see all the people and all of the people there that have benefited from the work that you guys do, either in partnering, loans, grants, helping people find the solution they need. We're very lucky that you guys have stayed steadfast and not given up in the years past with the tougher times, and we appreciate now you riding with us in the good times too. So thanks, Laura, for all you do.
Yeah, I think the only thing I'd like to add to what my colleagues have been saying is RCEDC is very unsung in what they do. I mean, they're out there in the community. They're out there, you know, doing what they can to attract economic development to us. I say they're unsung, but you know, make no mistake, they're a very essential strategic partner for the village. I mean, we can't afford to do all this attraction by ourselves, so we have to, again, partner and collaborate with those that do it best, and RCEDC does it best.
I second those comments.
So I think that we're good with your presentation then. I note that the approval of the extension of your agreement is on the consent agenda, so we're not going to have any real discussion over it and make you sweat over it. So all good. Thank you, Ms. Millian.
Can I make one comment?
Go ahead.
Just one comment from my perspective, and I was very happy to hear Trustee Bhatia, what he told that constituent. And I agree with the village president that our CEDC does sometimes get overlooked, but as a person who, over the course of 2023, was in daily meetings to try to make the Microsoft thing go, I will tell you, because I think you should all know, without M7 and our CEDC, it would not have happened.
Absolutely.
And that is not an exaggeration. So everyone should realize that.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, so let's move on to public comment. That's everybody's favorite time. Members of the public are welcome to provide comments on any matter. Please listen for the president to recognize you. State your name and address for the public record. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Can we hear from Joe Gleason?
My name is Joe Gleason. I live at 8332 Dora Lane. I'd like to talk a little bit about this clerk-treasurer position and the splitting of it. I'm a little confused as why we're in such a rush to do that right now, especially in a presidential election year. Start cross-training at this stage, you know, I don't know if that makes sense. And the rush to change it, you know, when you forced a 10-year experienced, highly competent individual out of that position. And why are we changing who that position reports to? This position is always reported to the board, not to the administrator. These are state statute regulated positions. And lastly, as a taxpayer, I am tired of you spending my money unnecessarily. We're gonna spend more money for salary increase to these positions when that clerk treasurer combined position has worked just fine for at least the last 40 years in this community. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else out there wishing to speak publicly? Don't see anybody. I'm not hearing from anybody. We can close public comment, and from there we can move on to the consent agenda. Trustee Hewitt.
Yes, I make a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second that.
So I hear a motion and a second on the consent agenda items. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So that motion carries. So let's move on to some new business items. We have under finance, discussion possible motion regarding budget resolution 3-2024, which amends resolution 36-2023 to provide $2,950,000 of project costs related to commercial development.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve budget resolution 3-2024 to provide $2,950,000 of project costs related to commercial development.
Second.
So I hear a motion and a second.
If you want to, she's can.
This is something that we discussed at a previous COW meeting. If Tammy just wants to give us a quick update.
Tammy?
Tammy?
She can't hear, she probably can't hear.
Tammy, on the matter of budget resolution 3-2024, I know we discussed that at a previous COW. If you wanted to just give us a quick reminder. You want to turn yourself on?
Thank you. I will get this technology done right. Yeah. When you did
Can
the
you pull it a
development-
little closer?
A little closer.
When you approved the development agreement with Educators Credit Union last month, as part of that, there was an agreement to fund a portion of public improvements. This budget resolution is allowing for that budget amendment for those updated costs for those utilities.
Everybody remembers the
Yeah.
educators conversation? Good. Thank you. Any further discussion from the board on that item then? Since it's a resolution, I'll ask for a roll call vote.
Venturini,
Aye.
Bhatia,
Aye.
Doxey,
Aye.
Anastasio,
Aye.
Hewitt,
Aye.
Washburn,
Aye.
DeGroot.
Aye, motion carries. So item B is discussion possible motion regarding a budget resolution 4-2024, amending resolution 36-2023 to provide $2,750,000 of project costs related to residential development.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve budget resolution 4-2024, amending resolution 36-2023 to provide $2,750,000 of project costs related to residential development.
Second?
So I hear a motion and a second. Back to Tammy, just for the quick heads up.
Similarly, this is to do with the.
A little closer.
Similarly, this is to do with the development agreement for the CCM Harmelio project. Again, you committed to funding certain infrastructure projects, sewer, and specifically on this one.
Very well. So in the matter of resolutions 4-2024, roll call, please.
Venturini,
Aye.
Bhatia,
Aye.
Doxey,
Aye.
Anastasio,
Aye.
Hewitt,
Aye.
Washburn,
Aye.
DeGroot.
Aye, motion carries. Let's move on to item C, which is a motion regarding a new Class B liquor license and Class B beer license, Taco Party LLC, 2324 Mead Street, Guadalupe, Davalos.
Mr. President, I would like to make a motion to approve a new Class B liquor license and a Class B beer license for Taco Party LLC located at 2343 Mead Street.
Second.
So I hear a motion and a second. This is something that we discussed at a previous COW meeting, and the the word that we got was the taco party was going to have a soft opening until they got their liquor license, and then they're going to do something impressive. We have the applicant here. Did you want to just add anything, if you would, yeah? Just name and address, please.
Yes, I am Guadalupe Davalos. I live at 2032 Hickory Grove Avenue. I am the business manager for Taco Party, also known as La Taquiza in Spanish. We have had a soft opening for the last 2 weeks. I would consider it anything but soft. It was pretty packed in there the first day that we opened, and we've seen a lot of support in the area and a lot of feedback from people that live around the neighborhood and in Mount Pleasant, saying that they're really happy to have our establishment there. I would say we feel the exact same way. It's really nice to have a place that we can call home and have my family feel like we have something that we could build upon for generations to come, especially since we all have a love for business and a love of cooking. I do think that having a Class B liquor license and a Class B beer license would really help us maintain that overhead and kind of help with that cost as things continue to rise. And like I said, we're really happy to be here. And I'd say we had a lot of support too from Mount Pleasant Police that came by and obviously shared us on their social media, so we appreciate that. That is something that we've not had before. So again, we are really happy to be part of Mount Pleasant, and again, happy to be here. Thank you guys for the support.
Welcome and thank you.
Yeah. Looking forward to trying it out.
Yeah, I think everybody's rooting for your success. You can't have too many good places to eat.
And it was truly all over Facebook for the last couple of weeks. I've seen it on Facebook, and everybody's enjoying it, so congratulations. And when we discussed this in the COW meeting, what I love about it is the story. This is the ultimate entrepreneur's dream. And starting from, your house, your garage, your food truck, your, fighting with the weather at different food pop-ups and fairs, and now having the true brick and mortar is it's a big deal. Congratulations.
Okay, so on that note, regarding the Class B liquor license and the Class B beer license for Taco Party, roll call, please.
Venturini.
Aye.
Bhatia.
Aye.
Doxy.
Aye.
Anastasio.
Aye.
Hewitt.
Aye.
Washburn.
Aye.
DeGroot.
Aye, motion carries. So this brings us to item D, which is discussion possible motion regarding Budget Resolution 8-2024, which amends Resolutions 36-2023 to provide additional funding for the reclassification of the clerk and treasurer positions in the 2024 budgets.
I make a motion to approve Budget Resolution 8-2024 to provide additional funding for reclassification of the clerk and treasurer positions.
Second.
So I hear a motion and a second. This is something that we just discussed at the COW meeting earlier this evening. So I'm just going to go back to Tammy to remind us where the money's coming from.
Oh, okay. As the
If you,
title
again, get a
suggests,
little
this
closer.
is, taking the clerk treasurer position, the decision that the board made to make the clerk treasurer position and deputy clerk treasurer position, and combine it or take it out into two separate positions, a clerk and a treasurer. The financial impact for salaries is an increase of up to $17,488. This is doing the budget amendment to allow for up to that expense for salaries.
Thank you. And that's coming out of an account where we're not filling a position otherwise.
Correct. We are not filling the communications coordinator position.
Okay. So on that note, regarding Budget Resolution 8-2024, roll call, please.
Venturini.
Aye.
Bhatia.
Aye.
Doxy.
Aye.
Anastasio.
Aye.
Hewitt.
Aye.
Washburn.
Aye.
DeGroot.
Aye, motion carries. So let's move on to items A and B. We'll take A first, which is discussion possible motion to fill the vacant village clerk position.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Jill Furcus to the village clerk position.
Second.
Second.
Third.
We have many seconds, so it's at the clerk's discretion which way she wants to handle that for minutes. Discussion regarding Jill. I think that everybody's happy with the job Jill is doing and want her to stay on, and looking forward to that.
I agree. I think that this is a very important time for the village, and with all due respect to Joe and her comment during public comment, I don't think that this village should be doing things the same way they've done for the last 40 years. And I think that by creating both positions, we now have our thinking forward, we're moving forward. In the next 24 months, our population is going to exceed 30,000. And based on the workload that I see the current position holding, there needs to be two people. There needs to be two people that will have the oversight of the board, and we are definitely not stepping away from that responsibility. So I'm very honored to make the motion, Jill, and hope that you'll accept it.
Okay, so on that note, roll call.
Venturini.
Aye.
Bhatia.
Aye.
Nay.
Anastasio.
Aye.
Hewitt.
Aye.
Washburn.
Aye.
DeGroot.
Aye. Motion carries 6-1. So then in the matter of discussion, possible motion to fill the vacant village treasurer position.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Brandy Baker to the village treasurer position.
Second.
So I hear a motion and a second. Ms. Baker came to us through the process of our advertising. This is a position that we had posted since mid-December. We had a number of applicants. We interviewed her for this position, and feel that she's very qualified. She's an existing clerk treasurer elsewhere in the community, and we'd be happy to have her. So in the matter of the village treasurer position, roll call, please.
Venturini.
Aye.
Bhatia.
Aye. Aye.
Doxy.
Nay.
Anastasio.
Aye.
Hewitt.
Aye.
Washburn.
Aye.
DeGroot.
Aye. Motion carries 6-1. I don't see anybody down here for reports, so there's really only one last motion.
Mr. President, I'd like to give a little report. With your permission, as you have appointed me to the Racine Transit Commission, so we had the last meeting was on January 25th, and there are a couple of items that I'd like to update the village board and the community. And number one, February being Black History Month, and the mayor of Racine issued a proclamation and declaring the February 4th as the Rosa Parks Day, as the Transit Equity Day. Also, the Transit Commission report that the ridership from 2022 to 2023 has increased by 40%, and this has got to do with the student from the Unified and the Gateway and just general increase in the ridership, and they are doing very well on their budget, under the budget. And the last item on the meeting was that, as we recall, that I think last couple of years, the village of Stuart Van has been excluded from the transit commission, from the Racine, and they're going to be rejoining the transit system in 2024.
Good. Yeah, that's
Vote on the
very good to
transit
hear. That's very good to hear.
I think, didn't they recently add an app so it's easier for riders to
Yeah.
see when the bus is coming?
And that's
And I
another
bet
thing
that
that,
has
so
helped.
they have, we had, last year, we approved and the automatic passenger, the app, where you can pay by your pre-issued card, so that it is almost like a cashless kind of, ridership. And that has been, system has been in place with, at many of the large municipalities, and Racine has adopted that. So you're right.
Okay. Trustee Venturini, it looks like you're looking for something to do, so how about the last motion?
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn, please.
Second.
So I hear a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So we stand adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.